All right, good morning, traders. Today is April 23rd, 2024. Thank you for being here. My SPY pivot this morning, 498.72. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. All of the Fab Five are still in downtrends. SPY, Diamond Dow, IWM, aka Russell 2000, made higher lows and higher highs, closing inside or above the the bearish trap, but still below the 17 EMA. FNGU made a lower high and a lower low, closing below the bearish trap, below the 17 EMA. QQQ made an inside day, closing below the trap, below the 17 EMA. Gold and silver still both in uptrends, made lower highs and lower lows, closing below bearish cross around the 17 EMA. USO still in an uptrend, made a lower high and a lower low, closing under the trap and under the 17 EMA. UNG still in a downtrend, fighting it off, made a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish cross over the 17 EMA. US dollar index kind of bull flagging here. This is about the third day at the 106.10 area. US dollar index still in an uptrend, closed the day around the 106 area again. So let's go take a look at some charts. All right, first chart, SPY, got a higher low, higher high. You can see we closed inside the bearish trap below the 17 EMA. So we hit some kind of minor support over here. Darn near major support. See that candle right there? But still in a downtrend because we made lower highs and lower lows. All right, so there's SPY. On the 10-minute chart, let's drill down. So here's yesterday's price action between this red candle here and this red candle there. All right, you can see price action went up here and up here. Okay, so it had a little reaction. So my pivot this morning, of course, these two didn't meet. So my pivot this morning is right about there, 498.72, 74. Kind of smack dab in the middle of both of them. So above that, I'm a bull. Below that, I'm a bear. But they got kind of a wide space for my pivot for this morning, but that's the way it is. So on the 2-hour chart, what do we have? All right, we have, if you look right here, it's ever so slightly, it's really fine. You have to squint. All right, we got a bullish cross on the 2-hour chart. So we're looking for 10-minute uptrends. All right, so what we had is a 10-minute uptrend yesterday. And we left off with a 10-minute downtrend. In the pre-market, we've got a 10-minute uptrend. We'll see how long that lasts. So there's SPY on the 10-minute chart. So because we're in a 2-hour uptrend, we're looking for 10-minute uptrends inside that. Now, it would be normal for price to consolidate for a day before breaking out to new highs today. So we'll see what happens. So on the bigger picture, let's just draw what we see. Okay, so we have a wedge coming in right here. Okay, so that's taking this high and this high right there. So we got kind of a downtrend still in effect there. And we also have an uptrend still in effect right there. All right, so we'll see which line they're going to trade on. Of course, up here, going to be a bull. Down here, below the pivot, going to be a bear. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. We got these trend lines. We'll see where they wind up later today. So that's what we're looking at right now. So there's SPY. All right, so let's go back to the daily charts and look at some of the others indices. QQQ. Okay, oh yeah, by the way, okay, when I take a trade, all right, when I take a trade like this and I call it out, all right, it's a 10-minute uptrend, I'm buying calls, okay? I'm in that trade for the most part. I'm taking profit at the top of these at the top of these candles that are far away from the 3, I'm taking profit in those. I might take 1 or 2, reload it back at the 3. Take 1 or 2, reload it back at the 3. All right, so that's what I'm doing. And then when the 3 crosses the 8, the trade is done. All right, there's no need to hang on to it any longer. All right, grab your money, wait for tomorrow, and we'll set up another trade. Okay, so when the 3 crosses the 8, no need to hang on to it. It's done. Take your profit. You made money. It's a big win. As in yesterday. Okay, we had a 3. 3 came down here. We had a downtrend. We bought puts to do the gap fill thing. We did the gap. We didn't quite do the gap fill thing. Now the whole reason we got bullish here is because the bears couldn't fill the gap. So that gave me some kind of sign that the bulls have the strength today in the fact that the bears couldn't fill the gap. Okay, so what we got here is a 10-minute downtrend. We played puts, breaking underneath these bullish candles here to come back down to here, all right? Actually to do the gap fill thing, but they never quite made it. So when the 3 crosses the 8, that trade's done. You can kill that trade now, all right? Now you're looking for the next setup to maybe go lower or the next setup that's going to reverse it. So, and then what we got here was VWAP, a break of the rubber band candle, that candle right there. We bought calls and we farmed them out into this rally going up here, all right? So when the 3 crosses the 8, it's done. Trade's over. Now we left off, we got a 10-minute downtrend. All right, but we're bullish, so we can't play it. So we're looking for signs of bulls stepping in, hopefully on minor support, which would be 498.53. Now we came close yesterday, didn't quite hit it yet. Notice they didn't put in any consolidation. They just went straight up there to the anchored VWAP line, which was probably about 501.88 up there. So that's how I trade. Okay, 3 over the 8. As soon as it crosses, it's done. That's time for me to take my profits right there. Okay, 3 crosses the 8, it's done. Time for me to take my put profit right here. When it crosses, it's time for me to take my call profit. I'm a 10-minute trader. It doesn't mean I trade every 10 minutes. What it means is I like the 10-minute chart. Okay, I like it when the 3 is on top of the 8, and the 8 and the 3 and price are all on top of the 17. That's these green dots. And all 3 of those, actually all 4, are running away from VWAP. In other words, they're separating themselves from VWAP. And that's that rust-colored line right here, that moving average. That would be VWAP. So when all 3 are moving away from VWAP, that's what I love to find. That's my flagship setup right there. That's what I want to see. Price running away from VWAP. Okay, so that's what I like to play. All right, so let's go back to the other charts. Take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ. Let's pick it up on the daily. All right, so yesterday's price action. All right, got an inside day. Got a lower high, got a higher low, closing below the bearish trap, and all 3 of them underneath the daily, the 17 EMA on the daily chart. So still in a downtrend. Everything's still in a downtrend as far as the indices go. So there's QQQ. Let's take a look at IWM. All right, here's IWM putting in higher low, higher high, closing inside the bearish trap. And notice all 3 of them are underneath the falling 17 EMA. Okay, there's IWM. Here's the low. We made a lower low. We're in a downtrend. So there's IWM. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Higher low, higher high. Closing over a bullish cross. That'd be the 3 crossing the 8. Over a bullish cross, but underneath the 17 EMA right there. So Diamond Dow. Still in a downtrend. Here's the low. Made a lower low. We're in a downtrend. There's Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at FNGU. All right, here's FNGU. Lower high, lower low. Closing below the bearish trap. All three underneath the 17 EMA. Here's a low. We're making lower lows. We're in a downtrend. Okay, so this is FNGU. Let's take a look at our technicals. Technicals yesterday. Okay, so here's Friday's price action. We came out of, this would be the sell zone. Okay, so we came out of the oversold zone, camped out in the sell zone, and then on Monday, that would be yesterday, we broke into the seller's chop zone. Okay, it's the seller's chop zone because it's on the south side of the 50-yard line or the midpoint. Okay, so we came out of the seller's chop zone making higher lows and higher highs, found ourselves crossing over the midpoint into the buyer's chop zone. All right, now hopefully we make a higher low right here on some minor support and start trying to break into the buy zone. We'll see what happens. So this is the buyer's chop zone. This would be the buy zone, and up here overbought zone. All right, so there's T2122. All right, T2123. Same thing, a little sell-off this morning, and then we had a rally in the afternoon right there. So started out red, wound up green, then we had a pullback. T2123. T2123 3-bar chart. All right, we're coming into this rising 200 SMA. I like to see a bounce. I haven't seen a sign of a bounce. All right, I'd like to see some kind of reversal, head back up here and re-challenge those prior highs that we made. So here's the prior all-time high. This is the recent all-time high right here. Okay, that's the most recent, 635, 291. All right, so there's T2123 3-bar. All right, right now, having a pullback. Hit that rising 200 SMA. I'd like to see a bounce. At least, probably back to the midpoint. All right, I'd like to see it at least. That's not what I want. Where's the midpoint? Right back there. Okay, so about 634, right about there. I'd like to see it bounce back to the midpoint, consolidate, and then start working its way back up. Okay, so that's what, there's T2123. All right, it's going to need some help from the market, some good economic data, or some good earnings. All right, FNGU indicator. It's the 15-minute FNGU indicator. Okay, red at the beginning of the day, sell off, and then we went in and we made a higher high right there. So didn't really make a significant lower low. See, the pullback didn't make a really significant lower low. Wound up making a higher high. Okay. Now notice we didn't break this high. Let's go back to SPY. I want to show you something. Okay, so FNGU. Okay, let's go back to SPY. Just want to point something out. Okay, 10-minute chart. Okay. All right, we made a higher low here. All right, we made a higher high over these three right here. See these triple top there? So we made a higher high there. We made a higher high than this consolidation. But we still haven't beaten this high right here. Need to beat this high. Okay? Need to get on top of that high. If not, if we don't take out this high or this high, good chance we come back down and test this shoulder line right through there of that inverse head and shoulders. The first test will be the neckline right there. Here's your neckline. First test will be the neckline. The next test will be the shoulder line. If the neckline holds and they rip back up, we could come back up here, and visit these highs. All right, so we still have a downtrend. See, the downtrend line is still in effect. We have an uptrend right now on the smaller time frame, but we still have not taken out this high. So from this move from here to here, we still have not taken out this high. Now we put in a little bippity bop higher low here and made a little bippity bop higher high there. Okay, now maybe we can get through this grinding up ever so slightly and slowly and take out that high, but we still have not taken out that high. So there's always that possibility we come back down here and test the neckline and the shoulder line. Okay, so there's SPY. All right, let's take a look, go back to the daily charts. I got off on a tangent there, but thought it was a lesson that people could use and kind of be aware of the markets. Okay, so there's USO. All right, so USO, yesterday's price action, make sure that's right. Okay, lower high, lower low closing. All right, below the bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. Still in an uptrend until we break this low right here. We break that low, we're in a downtrend. So USO still in an uptrend, just having a pullback to minor support. That would be these two peaks right here. This one right here, green candle, red candle, and then these three candles right there. That's minor support. Okay, see that pull off minor support, and then they gapped up. Okay, so having a little pullback, still in an uptrend. USO. UNG trying to fight off the downtrend. All right. We're in a downtrend till we take out this high. Either that or we set a higher low and then make a little higher high and then make another little higher low and eventually inch our way and crawl out of this hole we got ourselves in. All right, so this is UNG, higher low, higher high. Okay, closing over the bullish cross over the 17 EMA. UNG. All right. Let's take a look at precious metals, GLD. All right, GLD still in an uptrend till we take out these lows right here. All right, yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low, closing under the bearish cross, but above the 17 EMA. GLD still in an uptrend. Okay, SLV. SLV got same thing, lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish cross right around the 17 EMA here. So here's SLV. All right, now let's go take a look at our economic data. All right, and see if I can find this. Okay, so here's the US dollar. Okay. So here's the uptrend for the US dollar, and you can see we closed the day yesterday right around 106.23. Still in an uptrend, okay? Kind of in a bull flag mode. Notice you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles up, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles of consolidation right there. So there's DXY. That's the US dollar index. Okay, we're getting caught right in this consolidation right here. Notice they're both on the same plane. So it would be normal for it to consolidate here, maybe even for 2 weeks, before finally breaking out to new highs if it chooses to, or sent packing all the way back to the flat 200 SMA. So that's the US dollar index right there. Let's look at our economic calendar. Okay, for today we got PMI composite flash, 9:45, new home sales at 10, and that's it. Okay, tomorrow, durable goods 8:30, petroleum report at 10:30, like there is every Wednesday at 10:30. Main event is Thursday, GDP at 8:30 in the morning. Along with GDP, we're going to have international trade and goods at 8:30, jobless claims at 8:30, retail inventories at 8:30, wholesale inventories at 8:30, pending home sales at 10, and at 10:30 every Thursday, a natural gas report. Okay? And then we got personal income and outlays on Friday, consumer sentiment at 10. All right, but the main event is GDP. GDP shows growth as a nation. All right, that shows us how much we sell our goods and services to foreign countries. All right, that means we're taking revenue into the USA. So that's a big number. That's important to us that we maintain a rising GDP and we're taking more and more money into the USA. Now, it's hard to do when you got an expensive dollar. So it's a balancing act. FOMC doesn't have it easy. I know every time we see them speak and something crashes, all right, we don't like it, but it's a balancing act as far as balancing the dollar. You want the dollar weak so you can have a high GDP, but you don't want to cause so much inflation on your people that, you're putting them in pain. What good is that if we're selling stuff overseas and yet the people are in pain because prices are rising too high? So it's a real balancing act when it comes to balancing GDP, US dollar, inflation, trying to curb the whole thing. All right, so the main event is GDP on Thursday. All right, let's take a look at Max Payne for today. I think it's about 500. Nope, dropped down to 499. We got 1-to-1 put to call ratio, one put for every call. And these are the puts and calls that are going to mature today. They expire today. So that's 499. All right. So, and on the earnings calendar for today, Visa's going to report tonight. Tesla's going to report tonight. Visa's about $500 billion. Tesla, almost $500 billion. Okay. So there's almost $1 trillion going to report tonight after the close. PepsiCo, $750 billion. They're going to report this morning. And GE, they've been with us for a long, long time. $202 billion. Okay, they're going to report this morning. And then we got Novartis, if they can find their P&L, $192 billion there. Daenerys, $174 billion right there. And then Philip Morris, we all know Philip Morris with tobacco, $145 billion right there. They're going to report this morning. So we've got a lot reporting this morning. A lot's going to report this evening. But let's take a look at Wednesday. All right. Wednesday, Meta's going to report. That is $1.25 trillion on Meta. Thermo Fisher, they're going to report tomorrow night after 4. Thermo Fisher's going to report in the morning, $209 billion. IBM's going to report in the evening along with Meta. That's going to be $165 billion. And ServiceNow, $147 billion. They're going to report tomorrow night as well. Okay, so we'll go on to Thursday. Remember, GDP is on Thursday in the morning. Okay, now look at Thursday night. Okay, we got almost $3 trillion right here with Microsoft. And almost $4 trillion here with Google Alphabet. All right, so 4 and 3, $7 trillion going to report Thursday evening. This can very well move the markets big time. All right, so you'll probably want to have your hedge on for your risk Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday with Friday options expiration. A lot of big numbers getting reported this week here. That's $7 trillion. That can move the market very easily. So we'll see what happens. All right. And I think that's about it. All right. So I'll take questions in the room. All right. If there's no questions, I'm going to render my video. Thank you, everybody out there in YouTube land. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the kind comments. I love it. I appreciate all of that. Thank you out there on Facebook. Please keep it up. Just leave a nice word. I love the kind comments. They inspire me to keep going and doing this. So this is great. All right. So for everybody else, we're going to start the day off probably about 9:15. Would I buy GE on a pullback? I don't even know what GE chart looks like. I'm mostly a SPY trader. Let's go take a look at, see if I can pull this up here. Okay, let's take a look at GE. GE is nice and bullish. If it pulls back to minor support or major support and holds, I want to see bulls step in. I would wait for bulls to step in. Okay, let it pull back. If it's going to pull back, let it pull back and hold. Again, 2-hour uptrend. If you don't have a 2-hour uptrend, it's not for me. All right, I like a 2-hour uptrend, and I like to play the 10-minute uptrend inside the 2-hour uptrend. All right, so is it extended? I couldn't tell you. What are the all-time highs? I'm just going to pull up the monthly because I know they've been around for years. Okay, you got kind of right in here. You're at a double top here. So maybe a pullback to, see this area right there? You got a little support right there, consolidation. Looks like for almost a whole year. So right around 133.68. Looks good. Right around 126. Again, I need to see bulls step in, all right, for me to be a buyer, because it very well could consolidate for a whole year again. All right, and then you say, would you buy it? You could buy it, but then you might be holding it for a year. You want to see bulls step in. You want to see that trend go up. So here's, we'll see what they want to do. And they very well might pop through and pull back to this area right here, right around 157. So they're running into resistance now. They may pop through with earnings, and then you want to see them hold up here if they do have good numbers. So on a pullback, yeah, I like it. All right, but I want to see bulls step in. I mean, this is a monthly chart. Okay. Any other questions? That's a third. See that third candle up, Marley? See how that's almost the biggest candle on the monthly right there. So I wouldn't doubt it if they pop through there. We'll see what happens. All right, everybody, thank you. We're gonna get started here about 9:15. All right, I'm gonna go render my video, and we'll see y'all in about 45 minutes.